Welcome to episode 2 of Estimation and Planning. So, in this episode, we'll talk about relative sizing. Now, what is this? Essentially, it's the answer to the question, how big is a poodle? And seriously, how big is a poodle? Unless you're a dog expert, you're going to struggle to answer that question because, well, do you really know the weight of a poodle in kilograms or pounds, or its height and length and width in meters or inches or centimeters? You probably don't. But if I was to place a poodle alongside another dog or a bunch of other dogs, you might be able to get a notion of its size. So let us say I now place the poodle alongside a Chihuahua, a German Shepherd, and a Great Dane. You now know that it's bigger than a Chihuahua, smaller than German Shepherd, and much smaller than a Great Dane. And by that logic, you could construct a scale by saying, well, the Chihuahua is a small dog, the Poodle's a medium dog, the Great Dane's actually an extra large dog, and the German Shepherd's a large dog. Now, this is very similar to software requirements where you're not necessarily always a domain expert. You're probably not always aware of every part of the code, but you can eyeball a feature and say whether it is smaller or bigger than another requirement. Now, this is very similar again to look at in another domain. So if I was to ask you how tall the Taipei 101, one of the biggest buildings in the world, is, you wouldn't know its size in meters or yards, right? But if I was to place it in relation to other buildings, you would say, well, that's the ninth largest building in the world, and hence it's really tall. So as you can see, relative estimation kind of makes it quite simple to tell ourselves the rough size of a feature or a requirement. And then by that same logic, you could say that the Taipei 101 is an extra large building. And it's probably going to take a long time to deliver. And that is a topic for another discussion, not this one, relative sizing. I hope you understand why relative sizing is a little easier than absolute sizing in meters, in days, or in kilograms, or whatever. And with that concept clear, we'll close this episode and I'll see you in the next one.